This person said rent could range from $4,000 to $8,000, arguing it's not inexpensive, but on the favorable end compared to the cost of owning a home. Are we talking a month? $4,000 to $8,000 a month is on the comparable, favorable end to the cost of. Who is this idiot? There is a new real estate opportunity brewing as some Americans are opting to rent. At least that's what, according to this person, is saying, right? Now, I will be very honest with you. I did not get a chance to read these stories this morning, so we're going to read them cold together. As economic woes are pummeling the housing industry, one real estate developer is finding opportunities within a new market with forever renters. Ooh, yikes. I got to tell you right now, I've been in my house for 8 years at this point, and beautiful house. And in that time, the price of the home has appreciated by more than double, right? I mean, it was an incredible investment. And I talked to some people who decided they were going to downsize and they were going to move and, go from one place to another. And during that time, rent has just skyrocketed. And I'm looking at my house, 5 bedrooms, almost 4,000 square feet, just absolutely beautiful home. They pay more on their 3-bedroom rent house than I pay for mine. And I'm looking around like, man, less than $100 a day to live here. That isn't too bad at all, especially when people are out there paying $2,600 a month to live in a very, very modest home. And a lot of people are looking at that, right? This person is saying that there's a real estate opportunity brewing in urban areas as some Americans are opting to rent instead of buying a home. They just said, screw it with this housing market. I'm just going to rent from now on. The biggest issue, especially in large established metro areas, is a lack of product. There's no such thing as a starter home in large metro areas anymore, right? So there's no such thing as a starter home in the middle of Dallas. There's no such thing as a starter home in the middle of Houston or in Austin. I live in Texas, clearly, or a starter home is the middle of New York City or San Francisco, right? This person argued that bigger and better apartments are the ideal starter homes for those who live in big cities. I couldn't disagree more, right? I can go through, so I live in the Dallas area. I could go through the Dallas area and find plenty of starter homes, without a doubt. Now, those starter homes a few years ago were like 135 to 185,000. Now those starter homes are probably 400,000. And I don't know, you correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't know if a bigger and better apartment really is the right starter home for people. Because, the whole thing with starter homes is that you're getting into a home, you're building equity, and then eventually one day you move into something else with the savings and equity and appreciation that happened in that first home that you were in. Now, take away the fact that you get no equity, you get no savings, you get nothing when you leave an apartment. I'm not sure that really is the best idea for a starter home. You tell me in the comments. This person says that a portion of forever renters are of the higher end demographic, have an eye for apartments with large scale rooms, sophisticated aesthetics, and kid friendly amenities. Yeah, who doesn't? Please enlighten me. Who doesn't have an eye for large scale rooms, sophisticated aesthetics, and kid friendly amenities? That doesn't mean that I plan to rent all of my life and just really be on the struggle bus, right? Most apartment buildings, especially over the last 10 years, have been built targeting a 27-year-old. They have orange doodads as the design theme. Okay, whatever. We have a mid-Atlantic focused portfolio, this person's saying. Our average renter 10 years ago was 29. Today, it's 33. But we also have way more renters than 35 to 45, making well over 150,000 more than we used to have. Okay, so I do a lot of consulting with financial institutions. And this actually triggered me when I read this. And I read this cold, so it triggered me like 6 seconds ago. There is a segment of the population that's always transitioning, right? Think of it like people are getting divorced, people are getting remarried, people who are changing jobs, people who are packing up and moving. I think they just described that, right? I think what they're describing here is more social anxiety, social upheaval, social unrest than anything else, right? Our average renter 10 years ago is 29. So that's somebody who's at the beginning stages of their career. Maybe they're starting to look at starting a family at 29, but at 33, and he says there's also a lot more renters between 35 and 45. These are people who have been in the workforce. Maybe they recently lost their job, and by losing their job, they could no longer afford their home, and so they are renting now. Or maybe these people are out, changing careers, changing locations. Maybe they picked up and moved from California to Texas, like all my neighbors did. And I don't know. That just strikes a chord with me. That to me says it's not necessarily that people want to be lifetime renters. That tells me there's probably a lot more turnover out in the workforce than maybe they're accounting for. Rent could range anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000. Hang on. We need a pause for dramatic effect on that. This person said rent could range from $4,000 to $8,000, arguing it's not inexpensive, but on the favorable end compared to the cost of owning a home. Are we talking a month? $4,000 to $8,000 a month is on the comparable, favorable end to the cost of. Who is this idiot? I'm glad I read this cold. This is crazy. These buildings, especially the ones we're focused on, are in locations where there is no opportunity otherwise to build new housing because they're completely filled. There's no land available, and so they're in locations that are in the highest demand. For $4,000 to $8,000 a month, I'm having a really, really hard time wrapping my brain around this. So you're telling me that people should live in a starter home, which they get no equity in. They're spending between $4,000 and $8,000 a month on the rent, which they get no equity back from ever. And okay, I'm sorry. This is really hurting my brain here. The biggest part of this story is that the millennial generation, which I am a part of, and maybe you are too, has come of an age and an income level where in previous generations, they would have been moving to the suburbs and buying houses, and they're not. I think plenty of them are. I did. I think plenty of them are. I think that this person here, what is his name? Post Brothers CEO Michael Pastranac. I think Post Brothers CEO and co-founder Michael Pastranac is smoking something. I don't think people are excited. Hear me out. Just hear me out here. I don't think people are excited to pay $4,000 to $8,000 a month for an apartment. I think people are paying $4,000 to $8,000 a month, begrudgingly so, because the housing market has gotten so unaffordable for so many people that this is just what's left over until they can actually find something to make it worth, right? $4,000 to $8,000 a month. I mean, in some places that could pay your mortgage for 2 to 3 months, right? But just 1 month on these incredible apartments. What did I say earlier? Um, Hang on, I got to read this again. These incredible apartment buildings with higher end demographics with an eye for large scale rooms, sophisticated aesthetics, and kid friendly amenities. Makes my skin crawl reading this. Let's take a look at what the AI trading data says for DR Horton, one of the largest home builders in America. DR Horton. We actually got a sell signal on January 4th. So I don't know. Taking a look at that sell signal, it kind of gives me some hope, or maybe not some hope, but some realization like maybe the housing market has peaked. Maybe this AI trading data signal here is saying, hey, the housing market may have peaked and it's starting to come back down. Maybe houses will start to be more affordable and you won't have to look at $4,000 to $8,000 a month for rent, right? So we got that sell signal on January 4th. And following these signal returns, historically speaking, it's been 171.24% on these historical returns here. So this is pretty crazy. So we are in the final weeks of the OVTLYR deal. The OVTLYR deal gets you access to these AI trading signals right here for one price of $79, right? You have lifetime access to this, but we are in the final stages of that. So head over to OVTLYRdeal.com while you can, because we are in the final weeks of this at this point. Now let's take a look at what the internet's saying about this, right? After adjusting for inflation, US home prices have never been higher. And that's after adjusting for inflation, right? We take a look at this data here, 120% US real home price appreciation from 1891 to 2023, 120%. The last time we peaked was around 2008, which shouldn't surprise anybody, right? Let's see what people are saying here. They were kind of stable till the 80s. Something must have changed after that. You tell me in the comments. What do you think changed after that? Unfortunately, with 3 months of existing home supply, it could get worse before it gets better. And this person says, hey, everybody can feel it, right? American dream isn't dead yet, but it's much, much harder to achieve. Yeah, for sure. And especially when there's people who are trying to get you in apartments for between $4 and $8 grand a month. Yeah, the American dream isn't dead, but then you've got all these people who are telling you, hey, don't even bother getting a home. Get one of our awesome apartments, and it's only going to cost you $8 grand a month. You know what else is unbelievable? The YouTube algorithm continues to suggest videos. I don't know how it works, but it says that one of these 2 videos is going to be the best video for you to watch right now. So click one of those to watch more, and I'll see you on the next OVTLYR Live. Have a great day. Talk soon.